Good morning, afternoon, or night, ladies and gentlemen, and to everybody watching this stream. I am Rails Barlow, one of your tournament admins for RBT5, and let me tell you, we have what I think is going to be easily one of the best matches of this tournament so far. We have Team reHAB, who have also gone by Frag4 and Pubstar in the past, playing against a team called EnVy. I am so excited for this, and I'm going to now pitch it over to my co-caster for today's game. Dina, what are we about to watch?
My opinion, one of the best games of the tourney, even, because I feel like those are the two best teams at the moment in the game, and yeah, they're both favorites to win the tourney, so I'm looking forward to a really good game.
Same here, and honestly, the thing about RBT and EnVy is that this goes all the way back to RBT1 in 2014. EnVy were the team that won that tournament. It's not the same roster as they were in RBT1, but it's a couple of the same players. And of course, on the other side of things, we have Team reHAB, who have been just absolutely dominant in the competitive Left 4 Dead 2 scene over the past, I would say, what, like 3 or 4 years at this point?
Yeah, like, they're like, I think, back from like a bleed out tournament. Like, I think after that tourney, they pretty much won everything.
Exactly, and that's why here on Dead Center, we honestly could be seeing what many would love to see either in the grand finals or obviously somewhere else in the playoffs. But actually, I'm looking right now, and is Rochelle crawling down the side of the building? But what?
That is a Pancham thing. You can like crawl as like a spider, like Spider-Man on the walls.
Oh my god, that is one of the most incredible things that I think I've seen in a very long time, but it's going to be second only to this match that's about to get ready as the rest of the players ready up. We are in round 4 of RBT5, and let me say this, Dead Center is one of those maps that can go really, really unfortunately bad very fast, I would say, Dina, and this first map was actually crucial to deciding the outcome of this game.
I think, in my opinion, map 1 isn't that important because the thing is, tank. You only have 2 guns. You have 1 SMG, 1 shotty for like almost like the whole map. So, I mean, doing damage is almost guaranteed here. So I think the crucial maps on this are map 2 and map 3 because you can make the big bonus over there.
Exactly, yeah, and there have been some instances of people getting death charge or triple capped or something like that on map 1 just because they don't actually have those guns in everybody's hands. But as you said, I mean, map 2 and map 3, you can score just an insane amount of points just on Survivor side. And I would say map 4, being the scavenge map that is, I'm not 100% familiar with who on these teams has scavenge experience, but that can also be one of those situations where, I don't know, I've seen teams score 1k points in scrims, and then you've seen teams get like 3 cans in and then having the second tank spawn. So that's going to be a completely different style of game that I'm also excited to see when we get there. But I don't know, if I had to ask you, Dina, who do you think is going to come out with the victory in this game?
I still think that reHAB's gonna like take it away because like they're like so consistent and like you need to play your A+ game against reHAB because if you do one mistake on one map, they're punishing them so hard. So I'm gonna go for reHAB this time.
Alright, if you're gonna go for reHAB, I'll keep everything fair and square in terms of the predictions, and I'm gonna be going with Team EnVy. And honestly, the reason I'm going with Team EnVy is that I played against them back in the day and got absolutely demolished, and that was kind of their calling card. But Dina, correct me if I'm wrong, you were on Team Die Golden Necked, right?
Again?
What team were you on in CCT2?
It was called Die Golden Knechte. Basically means the golden slaves, if you pronounce it properly.
Gotcha,
Yeah, that was we actually like I think it was more of a fluke to be honest, but we beat them like with their main lineup before, like on custom campaign 2 on Dead Before Dawn.
Exactly, yeah, and but that just shows how long these teams have been around. I think all 8 of these players have been around since, I don't know, at least the dawn of Left 4 Dead 2, if not Left 4 Dead 1.
Kimchi and that are like 2 people from the original EnVy. Oh, we're going live already. That's pretty quick. Damn.
Indeed, we are. So everyone is readying up, and we are going to be having Team reHAB on Survivor side first, and Team EnVy on the Special Infected. For Team EnVy today, it's Deck, Prove, Kyan, and Kimchi. And who do we have for reHAB here, Dina?
We have Wristburner, aka Brian, Dusty, Dave, aka Soul, and Dungeon, aka Spongy.
Spongy's actually sporting the highest ping right now, just about 254 going into this match. Everybody on EnVy, aside from Deck, in the 20s and the 30s, so you like to see that. The first hit's going to be crucial. It's a Hunter, Jockey, Spitter, and a Boomer going in right now. Hunter is going to land onto Rochelle, and the Jockey is going to land on the Coach as well. That is a decent amount of damage going out in that first hit, Dina.
Definitely. Good amount of damage coming out on Spongy right there, and some small damage on the Dusty right there. It's a good start for the tank, for sure.
Exactly, and this tank is going to be up at 26% into the hands of Kyan, and now let's see exactly what they decide to do for their SI support. The tank spawns and is already making noise, I do believe it was in fire, but of course, in zone mod, the tank does not get lit. It's going to be a Charger, Boomer, and a Smoker for this hit. And Dina, I think we're going to see...
Big boom! Oh! Big boom coming out.
Double boom lands. I think the Smoker was going to try to sack itself, but instead decommits on his own terms as the tank is going to be moving in with that double boom. The Smoker's going to have to come from the doorway. Just a little bit of horde still trickling as this tank commits for Team EnVy now. Going to try and push the guns off of the top of those generators. Getting a punch onto Ellis. Another punch onto Ellis. He's got his corner, but the survivors are absolutely destroying him. Is getting juked just a little bit. Charger's going to jump up and miss that, and that's going to be a full down now. Going out onto Dave as the Hunter lands, but the survivors are going to be able to move away from this tank, aside from Coach, who is going to get hit just a couple more times. But Dina, that's actually nowhere close to a wipe on that tank.
There's a lot of horde coming in, but like Papas did a good time like focusing the tank at all. So tank was that low pretty quick. They even got like a juke in the corner, so that make a big difference right there.
Indeed it did, and we have to also mention, of course, that one of the things that happens in Dead Center on any competitive config nowadays is that only 2 guns are available for the survivors, and the person who the tank cornered first, aka Dave, like, he only had double pistols there, so the rest of the survivors were able to put out a nice amount of damage and also just stay out of the tank's way on those air conditioning units. Boomer's going to spawn up behind as the jockey goes in. Double boom is going to land. Smoker is nowhere to be seen right now, but is actually maybe trying to get a pull from somewhere in the back, but honestly I think they have better off saving it now.
Definitely. I think they should get this charge hunt, I'm pretty sure, for the next hit, and this could be good. If they get like a death charge over here, that could be big for EnVy right there.
Oh yeah, and they're honestly kind of looking for that now, I would say, because it looks as though reHAB on the away game are still just pushing their way forward. But here comes a quad cap with a Jockey, Smoker, Hunter, and Charger looking to go in on their own terms here. It looks as though they're actually going to be scratching out the fire doors down below just because the survivors are going to take a decent amount of damage, like I think 5 or 10 each, depending on how they go through the fire. But this quad could be deadly, Dina, and the SI are actually poised to spawn from above them.
Definitely. Like if Charger lands right here, or if a quad lands here, that could be big momentum shift for Team EnVy right there, because Frag 4 are still looking in a good shape right now, to be honest, for a away game.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, if playing on this kind of ping where you have 3 people in the 200s and 1 person in the orange. Oh, but this is actually going to be a nice double cap.
This is big!
There's the death charge going out onto Wristburner, and you just said it, Dina. That was absolutely huge for Team EnVy after that tank.
That Hunter right there, they had a nice stumble for the pull guy. That was really good synchronization from EnVy right there. That was really big for them.
What a play by Deck, too, to be able to capitalize on that. We are going to have the survivors making their way to the elevator now, but that literally just changed the momentum of the game in a single instant. That is how I expect both of these games to go. The server here that we're on first is honestly going to be just, I don't know, it's something that we're going to have to see Team EnVy play almost perfectly because they are on that home server for just these 4 maps. That death charge, I'm still not over it because, Dina, that is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, because Frag 4 still had a decent amount of bonus, and now it went kind of down to shambles, so like, yeah, they need to kill him right here for EnVy to have like a good momentum swing.
Get ready.
Let's see if they're able to do just that. Hunter charges Spitter Grimmer, so it is a 2-2, and that means Frag 4, sorry, Team reHAB are probably going to get a couple more hits out of this map, but this is going to be the Hunter still kind of bouncing around, just kind of make a delay as the survivors are standing in that elevator, and they have guns now, Dina, to shoot everything. But they are also 3 survivors here. That Hunter's going to land, and the Charger is going to land in the corner as well in the elevator onto Rochelle. More damage going out, but they need a 3 cap.
Yeah, I'm not sure what time he went inside the elevator. Maybe he just could have covered the spit pounce guy, but still decent amount of damage coming out on a day.
Indeed it was, and now it looks as though Team reHAB are going to make their way into this kitchen area with the fire again, not really doing a massive amount of damage, even if they were to actually walk through it. But this next area is absolutely deadly in terms of the amount of damage per second put out by the fire.
The Smoker's already setting up on the front to pull them through the fire.
Jockey's going to spawn up as well. Hunter's going in. There's the pull going out, and the Hunter is going to die, but this is going to be Dave brought into that fire.
Oh, almost strike cap. That was close.
That I was just mentioning. It was almost that 3 cap, as you just said, but instead it's going to be a massive amount of damage onto Dave for that in cap that they are not quite able to clear yet. Let's see if they're able to get him back up before the SI have spawns again, but honestly, Dina, I would expect them to try to troll this pickup if they can.
Yeah, I mean, reHAB still almost making a save from despite being only 3 survivors, and they still have some bonus left on a Dusty right there.
Indeed,
they make that.
Yeah, they could easily make this. But there's that charge going in onto Dave with Spit going down on top of that. That will be him dead. Only 2 survivors left. Hunter and Jockey looking to get this 2-cap. That's going to be the Jockey not
Oh,
finding
nice
anything.
skeet by Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty for team, I was going to say Pups for that time, but for team reHAB has only about 140 ping, so it's still obviously an away game for him, but he is able to make a little bit of, I don't know, he's able to just completely shut down the SI, probably a little bit better than his teammates just for the merit of that. But that is going to be the first map made on the away server, like you just mentioned, Dina, by team reHAB to bring their total score to 355 so far for this home and away series.
EnVy differ doing a good job right now, like shutting down in reHAB, because reHAB, even on the away game, on most games, they still did like save from like a good amount of bonus, so it's definitely a good start. But what they need right now is a solid survivor hab. Like they can't get wiped here. This is like a must.
Exactly, and now the other thing that I'm thinking about is like both these teams have a tremendous amount of experience on ping, probably more than anybody else in the community aside from a couple teams from NA, and they are going to have to just try to like do the best they can playing on, it's probably going to be a Chicago server in NA as well, and I'm pretty sure EnVy are used to that, or it could actually be LA. Actually, they're not even playing a North American game, what am I talking about? It'll be an EU instead, but when they actually played in RBT1, they just set up an LA server so that they could get used to that ping and also just play teams in a best of 1 on that server as well. We'll see if they're able to handle the ping though next game, because right now they're going to be taking the first hit in this hallway. It's a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, Jockey. Dina, take it away.
Yeah, it looks like Kimchi and Kane are picking up both the guns. Kimchi the SMG, Kane the shotgun. The hit's going in right now. Hunter going in. Gets actually not landing it at all. Like getting shut down. Spitter missing as well. So next to no damage coming out on the survivors. Boomer getting nicely popped as well. Yeah, Tang is gonna be up pretty soon in the hands of Whisperer, aka Brian.
It shall be, and now looks like those survivors are going to push their way forward just a little bit to get something from that room. That was Kane getting that, and now it's going to be a Smoker Charger and one other spawn coming into queue. Dina, it's actually kind of difficult as tank in this safe room for a couple of reasons. It's kind of easy to get juked around those air conditioners, and I think he has to go for the guns almost straight away in order to pretty much nullify EnVy's ping advantage on this.
Definitely, because like if you go for the pistol guy, the SMG and the shotgun just can just rail you like all the way, and you can note like 3 of the survivors are 5 punch. Tank needs an extra punch to down someone, so this could make a big difference as well.
Exactly, and now they're going to have that Jockey Hunter Charger that they might want on the SI side. This is a pretty effective hit, I would say, for that safe room area. Let's see if they decide to send the tank or try to get that boom. But instead, I think it's probably going to be a commit from Wristburner, aka Brian, and he's going to be going in, trying to get a punch on the survivors on the stairs, not quite hitting it, however, taking his time now by the door. He is going to go in now, pushing straight for the guns in the corner. Man, you get a nice multi-punch, and that's going to be a miss, though, next on Rochelle. Takes again, another multi-punch into the corner. That is absolutely huge. Hunter lands, Charger lands, oh my god! Is this about to be a tri-cap? It is! Oh my goodness, that is Team reHAB absolutely showing Team EnVy their coordination. That was one of the most impressive special infected plays I have ever seen in my 8 years of casting Left 4 Dead 2. Oh my goodness, Dina, they're going to be leading going into map 2 on EnVy's server.
What a charge by Spongy. Spongy got a nice double charge, and Jockey got the free target off of that. And nice the punches coming from Brian, so that was super nice synchronization from reHAB right there. God damn.
Oh my goodness, I cannot overstate how important that was. That was absolutely electrifying from Team Frag 4. They make the map, and Team reHAB too. They make the map with 2 survivors, and it's like, alright, they're trying to get the distance points off of this, but that was absolutely catastrophic for EnVy. And the other thing, Dina, is that they ate 2 multi-punches during that tank.
I don't think the multi-punch was a problem in the end, because Brian was pretty low when they got the tracking. He was down to 1.5k, but that double punch in the end where they got both the cone and charge landing, that was like the nail in the coffin right there for EnVy.
Really was, and at that point, right, the survivors really weren't positioned well enough to be able to deal with the special infected either. That charge, as you mentioned, was just absolutely incredible. And now we are going to be going live with Team reHAB leading on the survivor side on this home server for Team EnVy, who are going to be on the special infected side with a Smoker, Spitter, Boomer, and a Hunter. There's a wall kick.
Server died?
I don't think so. I'm still on.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. That's a quad boom plus a spit stumble on that too. Just about 45 damage going out on that first hit. But EnVy now are going to have to make just something work with these hits on this map, because when they get to that 54% tank, that they could honestly survive it again on Team reHAB side. This is now something where EnVy has to be really, really on top of their SI game, especially after that early wipe last map.
Definitely. They still had like a good first still Dusty right there, bringing them down already like by 40 HP, so they need to keep putting pressure on reHAB, and they definitely need like either like massive amount of damage or best would be a wipe on this tank.
Yeah, they have a quad in the hands of Team EnVy now, but let's see if they decide to send it before or after the survivors go inside. Inside, I don't think has a great amount of chance for this.
What cap landing? Oh, that's tri-cap, damn.
Yeah, it's a rolling 3-cap with the jockey getting a good amount of damage onto Dave in the front, but obviously no quad. They're going to have the smoker and the charger go back and respawn, because I think they're probably looking for a spitter somewhere in here. But I don't know, Dina, this tank at 54 can kind of go either way.
I'm not sure if that's a street tank, because if that's a street tank, that's gonna be a rough tank for like both teams, because like he spawns I think still hittable right there, so you can easily get like a double triple car right there on the survivors.
Exactly, and that's going to be a single boom going out now, probably looking for a 3-cap when the survivors are going to work their way across. But honestly, again, on the away server, this is what you kind of love to see if you are Team reHAB. Just because they're able to keep working their way through this map, map 2 is worth a huge amount of points. And as they keep going forward here, they're probably going to be looking to shut this hit down in the street. But, I mean, those rocket spawns on top of them could be used by the SI, but EnVy look as though they are just going to want to wait until the survivors get a little bit closer to that door. This charger, I think, wants this rocket spawn along with that smoker, hunter, and spitter.
I feel like going inside is way better because you can easily get spit charge inside on the small staircase. So, but it's just me. So,
I agree with that too, and I think they've managed to do that now, where they had the option to rocket, but now they're just going to have a pull forward or something to then be supported by that charger. Let's see if they're able to pull that off, because the smoker. I mean, the smoker's now repositioning to go on the roof, and is now going to be coming in. Hunter is going to land on the staircase, and the charger's going to jump in and stumble into the spit. That was almost an in-cap. That is completely brutal. What a good hit coming out from Team EnVy on that.
Oh, there is DB Dave on the case again right there.
I mean, that's something now where it's like they take one in-cap prior to the tank, but I think it's going to be really, really important for them to either push up the stairs in this next area or just completely avoid getting boomed in the street. This tank could do a massive amount of work, and it's going to be Dex tank for Team EnVy when that tank spawns. Spit's going to go in and get a free spit, but now we're looking at the SI save their hit, Dina, and I think that's because they know the tank's going to spawn as the survivors are running.
Deck is the boomer though, so if he gets a nice self-boom for his tank, you could instantly commit and get like maybe like a wipe. So this could be important.
Yeah, this is going to be huge, and it is indeed this tank spawn that does often end in a wipe for the special infected. Let's see, Deck is going to insta-commit, getting a multi-punch out of there, and another punch out going in onto Coach. Deck trying to do absolute work, but he's down to 3.6k as this SI hit goes in. The charger's going to land, the Donkey's going to land. That is huge for Team EnVy as Deck is still getting this corner, and he still has a massive amount of health as he gets it down on to Brian, but two survivors are still up. Dusty and Dungeon, aka Spongy, trying to do the rest of this work on this tank, but it looks as though they're going to be trying to get this pickup onto Nick, and I think that's going to signal the tank to recommit here, diving his way back in, getting the corner onto Dusty, and that is going to be the wipe going out for Team EnVy, it would seem, so long as the smoker pole doesn't get cleared, which it does, but the rock will be there, and so will be the follow-up punch. That is what EnVy needed, Dana, to say the least.
Definitely, they needed that wipe so much, and now they can just make up points on this map. This is what they needed right there.
Honestly, that tank is so hard to survive on Survivor's side. Like, you spawn right next to a hittable, and if you notice, the tank spawned already, like, on the elevated area that the survivors usually push into to try to fight them. So, that's just a really tough call to make in terms of how the SI, can capitalize on it, too, because if they don't land a multi-cap and the tank doesn't go for his hittable, which Deck didn't do, the survivors can kite him around and kill it then. But honestly, the survivors are in a pretty rough position when it comes to that, and I'm interested to see exactly how EnVy handles it.
Definitely, like, what you need there is, like, good coordination, so you shut down the SI, because if the SI are shut down, you can juke tank nicely around the, staircase for the car, so...
Exactly. I mean, and this first hit now is going to be going in for Team reHAB. That's going to be a Smoker not getting much of anything. Boomer, Hunter, Spitter going into. Nice geek going out by Kimchi onto that Hunter, and that Spitter is now going to get absolutely shut down, and the Boomer's going to die last. This could be another quad cap attempt as the survivors push forward.
Survivors might opt to rush inside, because if they stay outside, they can maybe get quadded. So I think rushing inside should be a good call, because landing a quad inside a close quad area is pretty tough, especially on low ping players.
Exactly, and EnVy are making short work of this map as they move their way forward. 3/4 of the quad are going to be in the queue now, and there's the Hunter for the last spawn. But the survivors are going to be making their way out of this room, which I think is going to be better for the SI to try and get this hit. If Team reHAB lands a quad right here, I will absolutely lose my mind.
Yeah, that would be so devastating for EnVy right there, but that would be pretty good for reHAB. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think the survivors know that because of that sack order, the SI do have the quad, so they're going to take as much time as they want on this. EnVy, of course, known back in the day and now for their patient play, you know, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing again here, because there's that baiting timer already clicking on as the survivors start working their way forward. The SI are going to be looking to hit this from the top here, Dina, with everything rocketing from above the survivors, and I think that's honestly the best call they could make.
Definitely. I mean, you shouldn't walk a spawn in right here, honestly. You should get the free rocket off the roofs.
Let's see, here comes the hit. That's gonna be.
Oh my god!
Gosh, that was.
Oh
that,
my god!
Yo, that was looking like a quad cap for a split second, but the survivors managed to clear everything off right there, and like they take a little bit of damage. But Dina, I think we both saw the same thing.
We almost jinxed it as well. Goddamn, that was pretty close. Right there.
Yeah. I mean, the caster curse would have been going in at that point. And honestly, if they had been on their home server for that, reHAB might have landed that, depending on what Team EnVy's pings would be and how they responded. But that's something where we're going to be seeing a whole lot of close calls as well, I would say. Charger's going to go in, does get melted along with the Hunter, and the Spit is going to go down onto nothing once again. But it looks as though they're actually going to be saving the Boomer now, because if Team EnVy decides to push up, I don't think they can actually do that. They are going to get boomed from the top there. And honestly, I think that the Boomer might be waiting.
Yeah, they've looking to get like an arc boom from the tree up there, and yeah, tank's gonna be up in the hands of Spongy, so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a crucial tank, of course, for Team reHAB, because EnVy, if they survive this tank, will be looking to make this map. But the tank's going to spawn up right now, and the jockey's going to land forward as well.
Boomer actually missed, though. Boomer missed.
Oh, he doesn't have that much support. It's a smoker and a charger. Hittable's going in, not going to land. He now is looking to punch a survivor in the opposite direction, but once again, he's going to have a smoker and a charger in the spawn queue. But here comes the charge, managing to land for a split second. Car goes whipping in onto Ellis, but these jukes by Proof not having any of that, and that's a dead tank, Dina. This is what we expected to see from EnVy on their home server.
Brilliant take there by EnVy. Proof nicely juking the car there from Spongy, not even taking an in-cap. DB's almost like still full intact, and they have 900 bonus. They need to carry this momentum and make the save to make like the score getting the lead on the home server.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what they need to be doing. As this next hit goes in, Hunter's bouncing around on the top, not going to get much of anything. Spitter and Boomer and Jockey for the rest of this 2-2, so really not a great hit for Team reHAB at this point, but they're going to make the most they can out of it as this Hunter is spawned already on this roof. But once again, they are taking their time as they work their way in. That's going to be a Boomer landing and a Hunter landing below as well. Jockey lands on the Kimchi. That's going to be almost another damage sponge situation as they were in that spit. But luckily for the survivors, they were able to move out of it pretty fast, and now it's going to be about how are they going to take these hits prior to going for this cola. And I don't know, Dina, this event has been around obviously since the dawn of Left 4 Dead 2, but it honestly can also be a massive amount of damage on the survivors if they don't play it exactly right.
It depends how they take on the event, like forward-wise. If they clear the hook pretty well, like the rest of the map should be pretty easy for them because it's pretty open. So those next two hits I think are pretty important for reHAB to do damage, or for EnVy to like make the most out of it and do a big bonus.
Exactly, and now this Charger, Boomer, Smoker, and Hunter are waiting to go in on the special infected side as the survivors work their way forward. Again, patient play coming out from Team EnVy. Charger is going to get a stumble onto Ellis and then is going to try to climb up, but that's going to be a couple of punches going in. Hunter looking for it as well, but there goes the skeet out by Kane as the rest of the survivors work their way out. And this is the challenge of playing against a high caliber team, Dana, because as you can tell, aside from a little bit of damage that they've taken, this is like watching EnVy back in the old days when they really didn't take damage aside from tanks.
Definitely. I'm surprised they're not going for the call right now, because spawns were still down, but they're opting to go outside just to hold out the event right there. The event's not that long, so it should be like maybe 2 hits coming out from Team reHAB.
Right, and it's also something where it's like there's no reason for them to rush. They might as well sit near the cop car and just try to kill as many special infected as they can. I do believe also that we have no survivors taking an in-cap yet, right? And yeah, so they can just do whatever they want over here. And that's going to be the first down now going out onto Proof, who is Ellis, of course, standing on top of that parking block. But now it looks as though the rest of EnVy want to almost go and get the cola, but they still have about 60 common to deal with and an SI hit that will be up by the time they get inside the store.
And they should probably wait out 1 more or 2 more hits, we'll see, because Jockey is saved and they could get devastated inside, especially with Spitter, so they should definitely wait it out.
Indeed they should, and they're going to do just that now as the Spitter, Broomer, Smoker, and Jockey are up for this next hit for Team reHAB. Still reHAB holding just a slight lead here on the home server for Team EnVy, but at the same point, these hits are not going to do a massive amount from this wall, especially if the survivors can just kite their way away, cutting that Smoker tongue. Single boom went out, and that survivor is now essentially the equivalent of a pipe bomb. So now the survivors can probably push in to get the cola. It looks as though we do have 2 SI set up inside, though, with the Jockey and the Spitter waiting to see if they can get an intercept.
Got the call out. Jockey and Spirit decided not to go inside, so they're just saving up probably for the fill-in at the Whittaker shop.
Yeah, which I think is the right call, too, from the SI. They're going to have a Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and Spitter for it as the full hit. The survivors are going to know, obviously, that the special infected are going to be hitting from there, so they're going to maybe bait as much as they can, or if that... I mean, if they manage to throw the cola... Nope, they didn't throw the cola.
Proof struggling to throw the cola up. There you go. Now it's up.
I was going to say, if they do that, then they can have one of the survivors or 2 of the survivors stay below and block those spawns at the same time. But they actually have 3 survivors on the top and then Kimchi standing on the hedges. That's going to be a bait of the cola too. Hunter is going to go in. Manning lands. Charger lands as well. Jockey gets M2'd and shut down, but that's a decent amount of damage there on the deck. And I can assure you that deck is not happy with that.
Yeah, that's a full incap coming on deck. Charger even got a slam plus a spit on top. That's really bring down the bonus a lot. They were like at 750, now they're down to 550, so that's 200 bonus off the bonus right there.
Indeed it is, and it didn't really matter that the survivors took that as slow as they did because Team reHAB special infected. We saw it on map 1 with that absolutely brilliant tri-cap that they managed to pull off on the away server for them. But these SI hits that Team reHAB were able to get in, if there's any team that's able to get any damage on EnVy outside of those tanks, we are looking at it right here. That's going to be a Smoker pull going out after a Hunter Skeet to the left-hand side. Boomer's going to spot up against a single boom onto Ellis. And there's one thing that I want to mention here, Dina, too. There are spawns now above the safe room.
Yeah, that got added, I think, a couple Zoma updates ago. I'm not sure, but yeah, they also give like opportunity to give like a last-second hit because usually on that hit you could only run in the spawns from like pretty far away, so they couldn't do much damage.
That's exactly right, and now it's going to be a Jockey, Spitter, Charger, and Hunter using that new spawn, and you see that all of the SI almost are positioned above them, which is exactly what they need to be doing right now to get the most amount of damage, and I think EnVy are wise to that, since they have Ellis already going forward, opening the safe room door and baiting it as much as possible. Deck's going to make his way in now, and EnVy are going to back up to take this hit. Nice Skeet going out. That is going to be a Jockey landing on a Kimchi for a bit of damage. The Charger misses, and that's going to be all they wrote for this map. That's going to be EnVy retaking the lead on their home server by a total score of 1,079 to 655. But Dina, they're going to have to do some work in the next couple of chapters to see if they can get any kind of advantage that will hold up on Frag4's home server.
Definitely, because like they brought the bonus down pretty low. Because after the tank, bonus was at like 900, now it's down to 450. That's a good job coming out from reHAB, bringing down the bonus even more. And like 400 deficit after 2 maps on the away game, reHAB definitely takes that for sure.
I was going to say, especially for a 4-map campaign like this, I mean, usually the conventional wisdom is you want to be up by like 1.5k or something like that, like at the very least. But obviously on a 4-map campaign that is also, let's say, one of the more unique campaigns in Left 4 Dead 2 because of the 1st and 4th maps, any kind of advantage will be helpful, but I would like to see them get that to about, you know, I don't know, realistically speaking here, they would have to wipe Frag4. They would have to wipe Team reHAB on this map. But that's an 85% tank, Dina. That actually could be a wipe.
Super light. Yeah, this could be like, I'm pretty sure this is after the event, so yeah, Frag4 has to play through the whole event area, through the whole map, and they could take a lot of damage prior to that. But yeah, EnVy needs to make the map with like, let's say at least like a 600 or 700 bonus.
Yeah, that would put them in position to at least still have that advantage we were talking about. This Charger's going to try to rocket its way in. Not going to work. Boomer, Smoker, and Hunter for the rest of this hit. EnVy moving their way outside. Nice Skeet going out once again by Deck, with Kane assisting on that pretty heavily with that 217 damage as the single boom lands too. That was a little bit of a discombobulated hit, I would say, Dina, but honestly, it didn't really have a chance of doing a massive amount of damage unless they landed a recap or something.
Charger thought they were gonna rush out, so he just tried to rocket in, get a nice double, but he got baited nicely, so Charger got shut down, and the rest of the hit pretty much got like completely shut down as well.
Indeed, it did. Now it's going to be a Charger, Hunter, Spitter, and Jockey for the next hit from Team reHAB. As they go in, Charger is going to land with a spit going down on top of that. Jockey looking for some extra damage as well, but that's going to be a massive amount of damage actually onto Kimchi.
Yeah, Kimchi got stuck in spit on some scaffolding right there, so that brought him down to below HP already after that hit.
What are the odds of getting charged directly into that bit of scaffolding? I will say this, and I've heard a fair number of competitive players talk about it, and this map has a lot of things that the Survivor or Special Infected can get stuck on. And when that happens, it is just completely unfortunate because it almost reminds me of like Parish Map 1, when you have those garbage bags on the side that you can just jump in and get stuck in via spit. But that can happen in so many different ways on this server too. That's gonna be a triple cap landing from Team reHAB. Oh my goodness, their Special Infected play has been utterly unreal on this server. I cannot believe what I just witnessed.
This is not working out for EnVy right there. Fragfrog playing their A game right now. Like SI synchronization is A+ right now from reHAB.
reHAB are playing out of their minds on Special Infected. This is utterly incredible to watch because Team EnVy in that position, right? They were split with the Pounce landing down below, the Smoker landing up top, and the Charger literally just went straight down the escalator and was able to intercept the Survivor who was trying to clear the Hunter for a massive amount of damage. And now, I mean, we talked about 85% being a wipe for Team reHAB when they were on Survivor, but honestly, if EnVy aren't careful, it could be them who are unable to make the safe room on this map. And I think this is just, I don't know exactly what's going on EnVy's side of things, but their Survivor seems discombobulated. You know what I mean, Dina?
They're like a bit out of shape right now, but I think it's just like reHAB playing like even better than I saw them play the last tourney games. So I think it's just like Frag4 stepping it up the notch right now on EnVy.
Right, and if you're EnVy, you kind of just have to sit here and take this horde and find a way to make it, I don't know, make it any less challenging than it already is. Because if they try to push this whatsoever, they have a chance of getting hit again by the Supreme Special Infected. The room does work well for them there, only a bit of spit damage going out onto Kimchi with that Charger getting shut down pretty easily, plus the Hunter being skeeted. But morale-wise, Dina, I'm not 100% sure how it is on EnVy's side, but they have to be super careful with the rest of this map.
And they have two people like below 40 HP slow already. Deck already spills, and yeah, only Kane has like good health left. And they still have like most of the event coming up.
Indeed they do. This might actually be a hit now as the Survivors are getting into position, but that Smoker was not able to find that pull down the escalator. They are going to kill the Boomer. Hunter's spawning up as well. That's going to be a pull going out. Charge going in. That is going to land for just a bit of damage. But now the Survivors in the hands of Team EnVy, of course, they still are going to elect to go forward now with that Smoker up, maybe looking for some kind of death pull. Let's see if he's able to get it from that he's not able to get it from that glass overhang, but this is now going to be, I don't know, Dina, like, I'm still kind of shocked at what's happening with Team EnVy's Survivor side. They have to be careful about ammo.
Like, ammo-wise, there's the only ammo pile is in front of the event, and if they're low on ammo right now, they could get, like, pretty much, like, tri-cap again on this area.
Indeed they could, and I think they're actually close to having to commit all 3 pills at the conclusion of this event just to fight that tank. This tank is notoriously hard to get a bunch of damage on, but since the damage already has been done to Team EnVy because of the hits earlier in this chapter, I mean, it's possible. It's possible for the wipe, but they're going to probably have to use the SI to set the tank up.
Also, out of all tanks, it's a Dave tank, so this is going to be big for them, because I think Dave is their best tank player, in my opinion. Maybe even like in the whole community right now, so this is going to be like even more pressure onto EnVy.
Indeed it will. Let's see. Jockey, Hunter, Smoker, Charger for the quad. Let's see if they're able to send that in beforehand. This Hunter's already pre-spawned below. The tank hasn't quite been triggered yet because the Survivors have to go pretty far into this room, I would say, for that to work. There's the Smoker pull going out in the back, not going to land. Charger goes in for a couple stumbles as the Jockey gets M2'd and shut down, so really nothing going for that quad cap attempt there, but the survivors now are going to be getting this Dave tank up. And Dina, how do you think it's best for the Special Infected to play this tank?
In my opinion, you need early support in this tank, because if they're allowed to run all the way back, tank will not get a counter by himself. So early support is definitely like key to like get a wipe or good damage here.
Indeed it is, and I think that might be exactly what we see from Team reHAB. This tank in the hands of Thanatos, aka Dave, is going to be working his way in, punching one of those pallet jacks, and now trying to get his way close to the survivors by taking no chip, and that's kind of exactly what Team reHAB need to be doing.
Definitely, they already have a smoker and a hunter up, which is pretty good for them. I think if they get a jockey or a charge, this could be good for them.
Thinking that they're probably going to be looking to send the tank in with this, since that boomer landing is definitely improbable here. Let's see if we have that commit with maybe like a smoker pull in the front or something. Actually, the smoker's down below, so they actually might be looking to get some kind of separation after the tank rolls in versus that early pull for the corner. And the SI are setting up behind the survivors, of course, who are all poised to take their pills and shoot this tank to death if they can. But here comes Thanatos, aka Dave, working his way in as the SI are spawned up down below. Tank's gonna be jumping on top of the glass here, making his way over as this walkway is the kite path for the survivors. Charger goes in, does get shut down. Tank is still whiffing these punches. Is not going to land that one either, as Coach jumped over a potted plant. He is now going to not
He's getting juked though.
He
That's
got
a no-hitter
by Deck. Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's a no-hitter coming out. Wow.
Wow. That is exactly what Team EnVy needed once again. So it's just this, I don't know, we're watching a slugfest right now where one team just does something incredible and then the other team does something else. And that was absolutely no damage really going out from that tank. The tank also had the ability to get, I don't know, he has somewhat long arms, right? 'Cause he's at 217 ping, but they can be so inconsistent when you're trying to punch as a tank.
I think this is the first time I ever saw Dave get a no-hitter. Like, this is pretty rare. And they still have good bonus. They have 600 bonus still. Like, after those hits before the event, I thought they're gonna get wiped maybe, but they brought it right back. So this is really good performance kind of right now from me. Like, good bounce back.
Yeah, the only problem that they're going to have right now is Prove is already under 40 HP, so he's going to be slow for the rest of this. They have one set of pills that they can use, but the other survivors are also bleeding out at the same time. Both Deck and Kimchi are going to be going slow sometime in the near future, so they have to be careful about just not allowing an in-cap in this area and then making their way up the escalator. The baiting timer is down to 19 seconds as they work their way forward. Jockey, Spitter, Charger, Boomer for this hit here, Dana.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna set up on top on the escalator with the Charger and the Jockey, which should be fair, because I don't think they're gonna land below here. It's too open. Actually, as I said, they're going in. Boomer getting popped. Jockey getting M2. Nice shutdown coming from EnVy right there. Next to no damage coming out, and they're making up their way to the escalator.
That is exactly what they need to be doing if you are on the side of Team EnVy here. Pretty split in terms of the poll that Vanilla had in her chat as well for which team's going to win this game. I think it is worthy of that, you know, balance, because right now if Team EnVy make it in and then they find a way to wipe Team reHAB, that will be absolutely incredible for them, just because they're already up 1,000 points now and they still have that bonus like you mentioned before.
Definitely, they need that bonus, and they need to make reHAB wipe on there, as I have. Nice kick out from Kane. Smoker getting shut down, so did the Jockeys, and another shutdown coming out, no damage coming out. And they should be safe for Team EnVy right there with 600 bonus.
And we see the go-go coming out in chat from Deck on Survivor side. This is going to be that safe room, I think, being made. So, okay, now it really does come down to Frag Force, aka reHAB Survivor side next. 2,279 points so far for Team EnVy in this game. And, I mean, we've seen reHAB play outstanding on the away game, but this map was the first one where it's like, okay, the team who has control in terms of the green ping has finally made the most of that. And so let's see exactly what Team reHAB would do on the Survivor side now.
Definitely. I mean, it would have been, if that tri-cap didn't happen, that would have been maybe 1,000 bonus round by EnVy, but that tri-cap just, like, negated that.
Right, and it's like, you have to go back and take a look at each hit in the game, just because, like, if there is another event tank or something like that that they have to deal with, like, that is not going to get a massive amount of damage, and it's going to be on both servers that 85% tank exists. They're going to have to rely on the other hits to get the bulk of their damage. Everything going in, not finding a way to land on the survivors, however. This Charger just kind of jumping around, and now waiting once again for the survivors to work their way outside. And now the Charger is going to go in, going to land for a split second onto Thanatos, aka Dave, as this other Hunter goes in and dies. That's going to be a smoker pull out and a single boom, Dina. Again, not a massive amount of damage potential on that hit.
Yeah, but good second order comes from EnVy. They kill the charger first and boomer last, so they will have a spit charge with a hunter and a jockey, I'm pretty sure, for the next hit, which could be good. They could do the same hit what reHAB did on EnVy on their half, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep, and it's going to determine exactly what the survivors do when they run down this escalator. Because if those spawns come in beforehand, the survivors will be able to push pretty fast, but if not, they're going to have to be careful of those rocket spawns above them. Charger, Hunter, Jockey, and Spitter for the next hit from Team EnVy. Let's see if they're able to get any kind of damage on this, and kind of like I just mentioned, Dina, these spawns are coming from above them.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter's setting up for rocket from below, which is smart, and rocketing from the top is always a good idea, especially with Charger. Because if you walk it in, you can definitely get, like, railed coming in.
Oh yeah, and these Uzis are going to be looking for that Charger to shut that damage potential down. But now the Bane timer has turned on, with the survivors still poised at the top of this escalator to make their way down, and they're going to do just that right now. Charger spawns up, it is going to land a charge. That is almost a triple cap landing, but that spit unfortunately went down on nothing.
Yes, Dusty nicely blocking the spit actually, negating all the damage counts. So, like, it looked good in the beginning, but almost no damage coming out from EnVy onto reHAB. reHAB still looking very good.
Indeed they are, and they're going to be moving their way forward to this next escalator, and they're going to make their way straight through it without any problem, since that hit before didn't do a massive amount of damage at all. And now it's kind of impressive to see Team reHAB working their way forward with this kind of bonus, but it's because even on that high ping, they're so used to playing together and so well coordinated, they almost don't take damage aside from tanks either. That, of course, might be a caster curse, and we'll see what the next hit has in store for them. Smoker, Boomer, Charger, and Jockey. I don't know, Dina, this still also doesn't have a massive amount of damage potential here, I'd say.
Because they have no spitter, so they need to, like, sack properly to get a spitter next hit. He's going in right now. Smoker getting the pull. Getting self-cleared though by Spongy right there. Bubble Boom landing, Jockey going in. Almost bringing him down, but that was, like, almost still no damage coming out. Like, they're still looking very good in shape.
Yep, and this is now the point for Team EnVy where they're going to have to almost rely on that tank to do some work unless they get a miracle hit or two prior to this event starting.
Look here.
Honestly, I mean, that's not the best position you want to be in as Special Infected, just because that tank is notorious for doing almost no damage unless you have SI help. So it's going to be on Team EnVy's Special Infected to really make the most of these next couple hits. That's going to be a Hunter landing onto Nick with a Charger trying to get the stumble, but it's not going to work. That is a bit more damage, and it's a nice damage spread as well onto the survivors. But if it were any other tank, I'd say this is decent. But with this tank, I mean, they're going to have to get a heck of a hit on the escalator with the event coming up. And it looks as though Team reHAB are going to go back because they know that's the safest play to be inside this room and just kill those common.
Yeah, this is smart because they know, like, hits coming up, and if they would rush out, they could get hoarded and tri-cap. But yeah, this is a good challenge for them kind of as well. Hits going in right now. Tricky going in, gets him too. Hunter going in, lands a punt on the Brian, but Spear unfortunately not reaching up there. So next to no damage coming out once more for Team reHAB.
And there's absolutely no reason for them to move forward until they want to. It looks as though they're going to be trying to kill some of the common here now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back. But with this ping in this event, I don't know exactly how I feel about this. They're going to be trying to take the escalator on this too, but
they're a bit slow though. Yeah, they're a bit slow coming up. This could be devastating right now. Hits going in.
Yeah,
landing, double kill landing.
Charge.
Oh,
there's
almost
the
strike.
That was a great clear by Thanatos onto Coach there. That was almost devastating, Dina. That's still a good amount of damage as well. On to Wristburner, aka Brian. And they're actually going to push to the third floor now.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good dash coming out. If they chip Dusty, Dave, and Sponge a bit more, all of them going to be free punch. Which could be like maybe a difference for the tank right there.
It really, really would be, because that is going to be crucial for the tank to try to get maybe an early in cap on this. This hit has very little chance of doing damage onto the survivors, especially because Dungeon, aka Spongy, was able to stand in that corner, M2 that Jockey, and now work his way forward. They don't want to be spawning the tank quite yet, so they probably want to be killing the rest of these common. They might be a little bit low on ammo though, Dina, which they have to get from the room.
I think definitely wait one more hit so they can push inside, but it's all around good damage coming from on all the survivors. They all chipped like down to the 50-60 HP area, so it's not the worst for EnVy right now.
Hunter, Smoker, Boomer, Charger, so no spitter once again prior to this tank. There could be a death charge attempt coming out. Who knows with the Special Infected setup. But the survivors are going to be working their way into this room. baiting as much as they need to before this tank is going to be up for EnVy into the hands of Prove in just a couple seconds. There's a smoker pull going out. Nice double cap landing. Charger decides to take the pull target and is going to get a slam for his trouble. Now that is a nice amount of damage so far going out, and Team EnVy's Special Infected seems to be back in sync.
Definitely, like, I think everyone needs to pop pills for this tank except maybe Dusty, so this is looking good for EnVy right now. Need to get good damage in this tank, and tank's up in the hands of Proof.
Yeah, and Prove is going to be looking to do a massive amount of work on this tank, but it is going to be all dependent on that Special Infected. Jockey, Charger, Hunter for the first hit from Team EnVy on this. And I don't know, Dina, which spawns do you think are best to go in with here?
I'm honestly feeling like this should be the best to go in, but it looks like they're just trying to sack it right now. Yeah, it's going in, Hunter gets skeeted. Jockey going in. Tank's going for a rock. It actually misses it, but yeah, Charger's like walking his way in from the back.
And now jumping and trying to get some kind of charge, and that almost landed actually, so.
I'm surprised they're actually taking for a boomer, because I'm not sure if you can land a boomer in this area right here, so yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to think about here, because the only places really for a boomer to come from would be on the walkway, right, or like some kind of spawn behind one of the pillars maybe, but the tank is going to have to push. Yeah, there's the boomer spawning and climbing its way up, but it has absolutely no chance of landing. The tank's going to have to maybe wait for that third spawn and take a little bit more chip, but that 500 damage already is non-negligible, I would say, just because this tank's going to get railed entirely down that catwalk.
They will get a Jockey as the last one, which is probably the best strike hit you can get in this area with Smoker Hunter and the Jockey.
Let's see if they're able to make it work. It is going to be that Smoker Hunter Jockey, like you just said. That's going to be a Smoker spawning up, but really not able to find much of anything here. And this tank, in the hands of Prove, is caught out right now with really nothing going. Hunter's going to be coming in as...
Hunt's landing, though.
This could be huge, actually.
Oh, let's hang on a Dusty, though. That's big.
Oh! Dusty is in capped, and that's going to be more damage going out onto Spongy as this tank is working his way around. Not able to find much there as he's going to decommit, climb up this ladder, and go to the second floor. Dusty's still ledge hung there, but really nothing else the SI team can do until that smoker is going to sacrifice itself to keep Dusty down onto that ledge, and the tank's gonna be moving in now. They got him back up.
Oh, nice double though.
Oh, double charge
coming as well.
That is wild, because now the tank is gonna get it down onto Thanatos, and this is already doing more damage.
Nice
That beautiful curve rock as well. Oh my goodness, EnVy really showing their Special Infected ability here in this tank. It has 48 health left, but Dina, look at how much damage they did.
I'm not sure if picking up Dusty was the right play from Dave, because they got double punch into a double charge. It was really much damage. And a rock coming out.
Oh my goodness, this tank has 8 HP, still throwing rocks around this corner, almost landing that one as well. An absolutely incredible tank by Prove so far. Curve rock almost coming in again, but there's really no more bonus left to speak of on the hands of Team reHAB, and Nick finally kills the tank, but that was a glorious tank by Team EnVy.
What a tank by Proof. Like, he got so much damage out of this tank. Even on this ping, this tank shouldn't be this hard because it's pretty open. But man, they almost have no bonus left. Only like small amount of DB and a bit on Brian. So if they bring this bonus down to 0, maybe wipe them, this could be like a momentum swing once more for Team EnVy.
Indeed, it could be. The Screamer's going to spawn up now in the front, not able to get anything as the Charger and Hunter are now trying to go in. Hunter does get skeeted, and the Spitter might just be going for free spit damage. Indeed, that will be the play. There's the down going out onto Thanatos once again. He is going to be black and white. And this finale now is going to be crucial, Dina, because even though we saw an amazing couple plays by Frag4 on the Special Infected side, aka Team reHAB, I don't think that this is a position they necessarily want to be in going back to their server. Charger is going to go in, getting a couple of stumbles.
He's stuck in spit though, I think he is. Yeah, he's stuck in spit. That's unlucky. What a spread. Wow. Him down from 70 to 10 HP. The bonus is completely gone right now, but that's unlucky for Dusty right there.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. Now things are just kind of breaking. Plus 150 MS according to Thanatos, but I mean, this is now EnVy taking control again on their home server. If they can just get a wipe prior to the safe room.